Today we're stepping back in time as we roll into the legendary town of Tombstone, Arizona, where the Wild West is still alive and kicking. After a long travel day, we're pulling into Stampede RV Park, our home base for exploring all the history, gunfights, and frontier charm this iconic town has to offer. But as soon as we got hooked up to power, we realized something wasn't quite right. Our inverter wasn't working like it should. So instead of settling in, we were suddenly troubleshooting our first problem in Tombstone. Okay, so the only thing I can do at this point is to bypass this inverter. So I took the power coming in and the power going out from the inverter because it's not allowing it to pass through. So all I got to do is splice these together. And I'm going to do that temporarily until we get a new inverter, which, by the way, we just ordered. It's supposed to be here on Thursday now. But anyways, for now, I'm just going to splice these together. And I got these nice, big, huge wire nuts. And that's gonna do the trick, I hope. So I'm gonna leave these all connected for now. I'll deal with these when we get the new. Basically, it's just swapping out inverters, taking these wires, and hooking up to the new inverter once it comes.
Stampede RV in Tombstone, Arizona. Awesome people. They are very, very helpful. Very, one gal I'm thinking, because she put a note saying she's out on the park, call this number. She answers right away. She came by to make sure everything's okay. And she accepts package deliveries. So we immediately got on Amazon, and because post office is a little scary. So now with Amazon and UPS, we should definitely see it by Thursday.
Yeah, I don't trust the post office for packages. And it would have been, because it's supposed to come on Thursday, but we leave Friday morning. And the post office is notorious for being late on packages and everything else. So if I can avoid using the postal service, I'd do it. So now what we need to do is turn on power and see if we have power.
Glenn Jr. here, fixing things. Don't mess up too much. We're gonna go inside and check power.
Yeah, we have power.
Okay, AC time.
Yeah, turn the ACs on.
And there we go. Everybody go on. What happens when your 2-year-old gets in with Daddy's tools? Whoa!
You get to figure out where everything was.
Yeah. But he wants to be just like Daddy. We need to find you a toolbox of your own, huh, buddy? So when Daddy works on with his tools, you get your tools.
What if everything you're looking at right now started because someone refused to give up? As we walk into Tombstone, Arizona, we're stepping into a town that began with one man and a gamble in the middle of the desert. Back in 1877, a prospector named Ed Schifflin was searching these hills for silver. Most people thought he was wasting his time. In fact, soldiers warned him the only thing he'd find out here was his tombstone. But Schifflin didn't quit. He struck a massive silver vein that would become the Tough Nut Mine. And just like that, everything changed. Almost overnight, the desert came alive. Word spread fast, and more mines opened, including the Lucky Cuss Mine, drawing thousands of people chasing fortune. Within just a few years, Tombstone became one of the richest silver mining towns in the country, turning this quiet stretch of desert into a booming frontier community. And it all started with one discovery right beneath our feet.
At any rate, those guys would take that drill and a hammer and they would hit it as hard as they could. Turn it a quarter turn, hit, turn, hit, turn, hit, turn. In order to make that bucket go down into the mine, Reagan, grab this yellow bar and push it forward. That's it, bucket's going down. In order to make it come out, pull it back, Reagan. Bucket's coming out.
After learning how Tombstone got its start, we decided to head underground for a closer look at the silver that built it all. This is the Good Enough Mine, one of the original mines that helped put this town on the map. And let's just say, this is not your average family outing. Tight spaces, steep stairs, and a whole lot of rock overhead definitely makes you appreciate modern jobs a little more. Walking these tunnels, it's hard to imagine the conditions miners faced every day, chasing silver deep beneath the desert. Meanwhile, we're just hoping nobody has to test how fast we can all climb back out.
I'd like to point out is this brownish colored rock here. That's manganese oxide. Now, manganese is used in the manufacture of gunpowder. In the 1880s, we didn't need gunpowder. So when some of that got mixed in with the silver and taken to the surface, they'd simply toss it over into the waste pile.
But this is where Tombstone's story really comes to life. Not just in the streets above, but right here, below the town.
There's a bench there. You can have a seat on that bench, and I'll be right with you as soon as everyone gets past this.
So that's the money right there. They did all this by hand.
Even the bench?
Well, no. Well, they built the bench, but...
As we walk down the streets of Tombstone, Arizona, it feels like stepping straight into the 1880s, when this town was booming with miners, gamblers, and outlaws. Right here is the Birdcage Theater, once one of the wildest spots in town. It ran 24 hours a day, hosting everything from shows to high-stakes gambling. And let's just say, not everyone made it out without a little trouble. Just down the street, you got the Oriental Saloon, a favorite hangout for miners and gunslingers alike. This place saw its fair share of card games, celebrations, and probably a few arguments that didn't end so well. And then there's the OK Corral, the site of one of the most famous shootouts in the Wild West. A quick 30 seconds of gunfire right here turned Tombstone into a legend that still lives on today.
We even watched a reenactment of the famous shootout here at the OK Corral. Next, we made our way to one of the most famous spots in Tombstone, Boothill Cemetery. Here's the people that were killed in the gunfight.
Oh, this is Old Man Clampton, killed in August 1881.
This is where many of Tombstone's early residents ended up, and let's just say, not all of them went peacefully. Back in the 1880s, life here was rough. Between gunfights, mining accidents, and frontier justice, Boot Hill became the final resting place for outlaws, lawmen, and everyday folks caught in the chaos of the Wild West. Walking through here, you'll notice the gravestones tell their own stories. Some serious, some a little dark, and a few that even have a bit of humor carved right into them. It also makes you think twice about starting any arguments out here. These guys clearly took things a little too far. It's a reminder that while Tombstone is full of legend and lore, real people lived and died right here. And somehow, standing among these markers, it makes the history of this town feel a whole lot more real. All right, so we ordered and it arrived today, a new inverter. I went ahead with the Victron Multi-Plus 2 3000 watt inverter to replace that other one that we had that was, I think it was crapping out. Plus I was never happy with it anyways. This one, we're gonna eventually switch over to all Victron components and eventually even get a second one of these Multi-Plus 2s. But for now, one 3000 watt inverter will hopefully take care of all of our problems. It seems like we've had a lot of inverter problems in the past, so I'm hoping that this will fix all of our problems. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this bad boy opened up, see about getting it installed. It should be fairly simple. Should be just a matter of connecting the 12 volt, the two, positive and negative 12 volt wires plus the two 120 volt wires, the in and the out. So should be fairly simple install. So let's get that done. By the way, this thing cost me $1,088 and plus $109 in tax. Tax. Boy, I miss New Hampshire. So a total of about $1,200. Which is actually quite a bit cheaper than that. When we had the dealer install the other one, they charged me over $3,000 for that. Now granted, some of that was part of installation, but the actual, I think they charged me it was over $2,000 for that other inverter. And it junk compared to this. This is a much better system. And at least with this now, we'll have our battery charger back. So this is an inverter and a battery charger all in one. Got the Multi-Plus set in here. It's just a matter of hooking up positive, negative, DC, as well as my AC here. I've got AC in and out. So I'm gonna hope that these wires reach no problem. So I'm gonna connect these into there. All right, simple. Should be simple. Let's hope so. Okay, so I got these 4 here done, I guess. I don't know. See, I don't know. See, that comes right out. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. This real soft stranded wire, I don't know about this. Whew, I wish it was stiffer wire. All right, so I'm trying to get it. It says leave about 3/4 of an inch stripped, so that's what I'm trying to do as close as I can. This really fine stranded wire is really hard to kind of work with because it's so finely stranded. You see, I got them all connected. The only thing I worry about is if there's a little strand of wire. Those wires are awfully close to each other, and if 2 little strands touch, that could be disastrous. So I might stick some little electrical tape in, just down in between each one, just for a little peace of mind, because you can see some of those. Okay, but it's inverting now. And I verified we have power inside. So I'm going to turn on main power and see if that switches from inverter to charger. Let's do that. Let's turn on main power here. Okay. Boom, there you go. Main power on. Now it's absorption charging, which means the batteries are mostly charged as it already. And eventually it would switch over to float. So battery charger's working again. So this unit is working properly right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut everything off, and I just want to, for peace of mind, I'm just gonna stick a little piece of electrical tape down in between each one of those, just to try and, because I'm just afraid with the bouncing around or something, if one little strand comes out and they touch, man, that could be disastrous. It could arc and it could melt all that. We don't want that going on.
You did it! Good job, electrical man.
We're gonna call that done for now, and let's just hope nothing else happens.
Bite your tongue.
In theory, we should be able to run everything off of this when it's inverting.
So we went from what to a Victron?
Well, we had a Go Power 3000 watt, the IC 3000, and it was giving us problems. So now we have a Victron, still a 3000 watt inverter. Eventually we'll get a second one just to give us, you know, more inverter power, so we'll be able to run more ACs, and more batteries and more solar, more.
Ooh, money. RV.
But for now, this should do, and we shouldn't have any more problems. Let's pray. Let's hope. So the next thing I'm going to do, because it's actually overdue, is swap out the water filters. If you remember, when we bought this new rig back in April, it was about the very beginning of April, about the 4th is when we picked it up, and probably around, I forget exactly what day it was, but the 7th or 8th, something like that, I put in the new filter system and everything. The water filters, they got new filters, regenerated the water softener and all that. It is now July 17th, so it's a little bit more than 3 months later. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna swap out those filters, we're gonna back flush the water softener, and we'll be good to go for another 3 months. If you remember right, it's very, very easy to do. Just gotta swap out the 3 filters, longevity, 0.2 micron, and the tasty. Easy peasy. Let's see how we did. So this would be the dirtiest one. This is after 3 months. We'll compare that to the fresh one. And this one, see that? And actually, you can look down in here and you could see grains of sand down in there. So that's definitely stuff that this thing is filtered out. So the first one we're gonna do is the longevity filter. This is the one that does the heaviest hitting, as you recall. Drop that in. 0.5 micron, let's dump that. This is the one that does everything. This is what gets rid of all the nastiness for you. And finally, we got the charcoal filter, the tasty filter, as it were. I would definitely recommend this system, you know, the three filter water filter system. You know, don't mess around with water. You're drinking it. Get the good stuff. So I would recommend this system. I'll leave a link down below for this Blue Technology system that we use. If you want to check it out, it's well worth your money. Done. Just got to flush it out for about 5 minutes. Easy peasy, simple as that. Doesn't take very long at all. And we're good for another 3 months. Let's see how dirty they were.
Yes, I do. I want to see how gross and disgusting our water was. And hopefully... Oh my gracious, that's disgusting.
Even this one is dirty.
Ooh.
Luckily, by the time it gets to here, so this one is definitely doing its job, because by the time it gets to here,
It's fine.
it's perfectly fine.
So it's 3 tiers. 1, 2, 3.
Yep. All right, time to leave Tombstone.
Tombstone, heading to Cottonwood.
Oh, what a time we had in Tombstone, huh?
Oh
It was
my-
great.
Well, I think we exceeded everything we were supposed to
Yeah,
do.
we saw all the major,
Turn right on
touristy.
West
We did the whole
Shepherd Street,
touristy
then
thing.
take the first
we
left.
saw all the major tourist attractions, and we didn't go in every single shop or anything like that. But
No, with 2 kids, because they have to touch everything and they
Yeah.
want to buy everything.
plus, shops get old after a while.
They
They're-
do, and we have an RV, so it's not like we're going.
Yeah,
to
it's
a
not
big
like we can
house.
buy anything. So.
So I wanted to see the shootouts. I wanted to see majority of anything that had to do with historical facts of them. So of the Earps and the Cowboys. Learned more facts and things that I didn't know about. I loved eating at Big Nose Katie's and at the Longhorn and the Crystal Palace or Crystal Saloon. I can never remember now.
Crystal Slipper.
No.
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. but-
Crystal Slipper was something else.
I know.
Crystal
Well, because
Palace.
we did the Oriental something.
Oriental was the one owned by Wyatt Earp.
And
Well,
that's where the,
he owned the gambling interest there, and then
that's where we saw one of our shows.
yeah.
And you had one of your 2 Manhattans. And then, there's a Cowboy church. We'll have to come back and stay on a Sunday and go to Cowboy church.
I don't drink Manhattans, by the way.
Oh, Manhattan. Old fashions. Sorry, old fashions. I highly recommend
Continue
Tombstone.
on
I
North
mean,
Sumner Street.
Ben is 2, Reagan is 7. And they both had a good old time.
Oh yeah, it's great for kids. It's perfectly fine for young kids. So the shootouts, they can be loud sometimes, but it wasn't nothing scary or anything like that. They do have ghost tours, I guess you can do that. We
Yes.
never,
We couldn't because you have to have 10 and over.
Yeah, because that might be a little intense for kids, but great little town.
Oh, yeah.
Highly recommend you
Oh,
come check
yeah.
out Tombstone, Arizona. A lot of history and just a lot of fun.
Yeah, if there's inns and places to stay, like right within walking distance of Fremont Street, Allen Street, that's the crux of what you want to see is downtown Tombstone, the OK Corral.
Yeah, and for fellow RVers,
Stampede RV
Stampede
Park.
RV Park, that's where we stayed. That's a great one.
Oh,
Easy in and get out. They've got pull-throughs, they have back ends, they have a lot of sites. And then there's also Wells Fargo RV Park, which is also right in town. So
Yeah.
both of them are pretty close to each other, and you just walk.
Stampede.
Literally walk right down Allen Street.
That's what we did the whole time. We didn't drive except for once to go to the Boothill Cemetery
Right.
and to where Edward Schleflin? I never
Shefflin.
Shefflin.
Which you could actually, by the way, you could walk to Boot Hill.
True, very
If
true.
we didn't,
But we didn't.
it's hard for me to walk. And
Long, yeah.
so we
you
didn't,
walked all
but you
day.
could walk to Boot Hill from those RV parks.
Yes.
All right, so we are done with that, and we are on our way to Verde Valley.
Trails.
Another 1,000 trails. We're there for, I believe, 5 nights.
Good, because we need to get a pool back. We're
So yeah, they're supposed to. Hopefully, the last campground.
I know,
said
the
there was a
KOA.
pool and it was closed. So
Yeah,
it would be nice to be able to go swimming in this heat.
it would be nice. Yeah.
We'll see what shenanigans we can get up there in northern Arizona.
Oh, you know us.
All right.
We can do a lot.